Good evening, everyone. My name is Johnny from Club Rum. Welcome to this tasting. Club Rum presents Rhum J.M. On behalf of Craft Spirits Company, the new importer of Rhum J.M. in the Netherlands, we're happy to bring you this online tasting. Craft Spirits is the new importer for Rhum J.M. in the Netherlands, so this is a sort of a relaunch of the brand, so to speak. It's one of my favorite brands, but I like Rhum Agricole, but we'll get into that a bit later. Um, so we'll start off with a quick introduction of the two speakers. You all have your sample set and an inlay. You have a picture of Charlotte, but as you can see, Charlotte has been joined by Audrey. So yeah, there we go. So a power duo. So that's awesome. So ladies, please take it away. Please introduce yourself and let's get this started.
Cool. Charlotte, do you want to start?
Yes. Okay. So hi everyone. I'm Charlotte. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you all for attending this masterclass, and thank you. Thanks to Craft Spirits for organizing it, and to Gianni to host it with us. So I'm the export manager for Rhum J.M. and I'm responsible for the Netherlands. And so tonight we are very lucky to have with us Audrey Brisson, who will present you Rhum J.M. and the agricole rum category in general.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. So I am Audrey Brisson, the brand advocacy director for Rhum J.M. I am from Martinique as well, and I am fond of Rhum Agricole. So I am really, really pleased to be with you tonight because we will be able to deep dive into the world of our favorite drink together. We have plenty of topic to address and product to taste together. So feel free to put in the chat all your questions and we will be able to answer your questions. But I believe we will be able to show you a lot of things regarding Rhum J.M., Rhum Agricole, Martinique tonight. So let's start.
Yeah.
Yes. So just before going into details with Rhum Agricole, we just wanted to give you the big picture of the world of rum, because we know that there is a lot of categories. Rum can be from a lot of origin, and sometimes it can be blurry for some of our rum amateurs to try to find what they like or to understand a bit more the category. So tonight we want to focus on the green part of this chart, that is the French style of doing rum. So in the world of rum, the traditional way of doing rum, we have the Spanish style that is usually from molasses and from countries that speak Spanish, in the Caribbean, but also in Latin America. We have the English style rum, so traditionally the former overseas territories of England, and then we also have the French style rum. This one, comparing to the other two, is based out of sugarcane juice. That's what we are calling Rhum Agricole, and this is where we will go tonight. Do you have something to add? Oh.
Yeah.
We will ping pong whenever we want.
It's true that the rum category is very, very diverse and large. You have a lot of different styles of rum that you can find in your shops. You don't have a lot of rules when it comes to rum production, so sometimes it can be a little difficult to find what you prefer. So the main difference, maybe the first difference, is the raw material, as you said, molasses and fresh sugarcane juice. Okay, so depending on this raw material that you will use to produce your rum, the taste will be very, very different. Okay, the molasses will give you some caramel aromas, maybe a little bit softer. Rhum Agricole and French style will be more dry and vegetal, so it's totally different. Okay, so that's why, in fact, the agricole style and the French style is a little, it's different from the rest of the category.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it here, and it will be here. Yeah. So, so jumping into the world of Rhum Agricole, we are arriving in Martinique. So Martinique, you can hear it at our accent. Martinique, it's a French territory in the Caribbean. We are 100% French, and Rhum J.M is located at the top north of the island. So what the picture that you have here on the screen, it's the volcano of the island called Montagne Pelée. And this volcano is located at the top north of the island, and Rhum J.M is just on the other side, actually. It's just on the other side of the volcano. So it means that this particular location of the island is not what you usually see pictured in a postcard, because when we are talking about the Caribbean, we are talking about sandy beaches and coconut trees, people going to the sea, white sand, and so on. This part of the island is quite tropical because of the volcano here. It's the most culminant point of the island. So it means that it's attracting all the clouds, because when you are in the arc of the Caribbean, there is not a lot of land where the clouds can get stuck. So whenever they have a mountain, they get stuck in the mountain, and it means that underneath those clouds, so in those mountains, this is where you will find the tropical forest, the huge humidity. It's not easy to find to see the peak of the island, because it's really humid and really cloudy usually. And that's the big point to remember when we are talking about the location of the distillery, located in Macuba. The city is called Macuba because it's located inside the rainforest on the slopes of the volcano that is called the Montagne Pelée. So just a bit of a big picture for the brand. Sorry. So first, we are in the middle of the rainforest. Sometimes when people arrive at the distillery, they tend to see that they tend to say that it's like a Jurassic World, because you arrive at the distillery from the top, and you can see a lot of red roof underneath in the middle of the rainforest. Nature plays an important part of the production from J.M. because of this kind of green bubble where we are located. Also, as I said just before, we are growing our sugarcane on volcanic soil, because all our sugarcane fields are located in the slopes of the Montagne Pelée. And then, of course, we have a tropical climate because we are in the Caribbean. And of course, in Martinique, the weather is like 28 degrees all year long, and 80% of humidity. But particularly on the slopes of the Montagne Pelée, it's even bigger. And finally, what is really important for rum production as well is the water that we are using. And at the distillery, we are located close to a river that is called Rivière Roche, so Rock River. And this river found its spring in the middle of the volcano. So it means that we are using pure water coming straight from the volcano to produce our rum. Nothing to add? Yes. And for a bit of history, when I say we are not talking about us, no. because Rhum J.M it's an historical brand. It has been created in 1845 by a man called Jean-Marie Martin. So actually, he didn't want to use JMM because it's Jean-Marie Martin. So we don't know if the M is for Martin or for Marie. but the initial of this name has been put in its cask because back in the days Jean-Marie Martin was producing rum and at the distillery, and then he was selling his cask. So he was selling the rum by its cask, not by the bottle, at the former main city of Martinique called Saint-Pierre. And because it was a huge commercial harbor, he didn't want his cask to be lost, so he got the habit to put his initial on it, and that's how the brand J.M was created. So this one is dated from 1845, but also we have a former date sometimes that you can see on the bottles. That is 1790. 1790 is not for the distillery; it's for the domain de Fontpréville, where the distillery is located. Before it was a romery doing some sugar, but the distillery was starting in 1845, and then I'm just describing some mentions that you can see on the labels as well, because sometimes people have questions. On the label of the bottles that you can see, we also have the family Crassou de Médeuil written on it. The Crassou de Médeuil family took over the distillery in 1912. And then they continue to produce rum, to produce rum with the sugarcane surrounded the distillery. And finally, and this is what's still happening today, back in 2002, the distillery was bought by a family group from Martinique called GBH. And this is still the owner of the brand nowadays. And in 2002, the distillery was kind of a mess because the Crassou de Médeuil family ran out of money. So that's why the brand was sold. And at that time, the GBH family took over a huge rehabilitation of the distillery, creating as well a touristic tour to be able to understand much better the process of creating rum agricole, and also a really beautiful workshop where you can taste the different flavors of the rum.
Smell the flavors.
So yeah, so this one happened between 2002 to those dates. One point about the distillery one point about the J.M distillery. When you are going to Martinique, and I hope that every single one of you will go to Martinique at some point, you have to go to J.M distillery, because particularly during the harvesting season, it's one of the only distillery where you can be inside the distillery. You can see it running. You can see the sugarcane arriving, and you can learn much more when you see what's happening just in front of you. So book your trip to Martinique at some point and go to J.M. We know that it's at the very north of Martinique, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
What I was describing here, so I'm commenting as well the picture, because you didn't go to Martinique yet. So what I am describing, what you can see here on the at the on the screen, sorry, it's the red roof in the middle of the rainforest. This is what the distilleries look like today. And one point that is really important to remember. So with the first slide, we were talking about the French style rum. French style rum can be produced in all the French territories. So Martinique, Guadeloupe, Réunion Island, even Haiti. I never know how to pronounce it well. Haiti. But Martinique particularly has something unique that is called AOC, and AOC is a designation of origin. So it means appellation d'origine contrôlée in French. It's a label that is delivered by the French government. You can find it for a different style of wine, a different style of spirit, different style of cheese, for example. It's something really common in France to have this kind of regulation. And AOC means that rum that is produced in Martinique have to follow a list of rules that are really, really strict. And the idea in mind is really to ensure that step by step, from the field to the bottle, the quality of the rum will be perfect. So what we call the cahier des charges, so it means the set of rules that every producer of rum in Martinique has to follow. It has been created back in 1996, and Rhum J.M. is one of the key founders of the AOC Martinique, and it's something that we need to obey the rule and to continue to apply them on our production if we want to bottle our rum. So each batch of rum that is being distilled, aged, and bottled will undergo a testing by the AOC committee. So it's really strict. And after the testing, we will have the authorization to bottle our rum. So when we talk about the rules, for example, in terms of agricultural on the agricultural side, one of the rules is that we are able to use just certain varieties of sugarcane. We cannot just take any variety of sugarcane and use it to create the rum. Back in 1996, when the AOC was created, we were allowed to use just 12 varieties of sugarcane. Nowadays, because we wanted to evolve and to make sure that with the climate change, we will be able to adapt, more varieties of sugarcane has been allowed by the AOC. As of 2020, we are allowed to use 29 varieties of sugarcane, and each producer can choose which variety they want to select for their field. And usually it's much more linked to the way the sugarcane will adapt to the soil to be able to grow well, to provide a good yield for the producers and then for the distillery. Other rules that are really, really important, and we will talk about it a bit later, is in terms of aging. For example, we are not able to mix years and say that because we have 1% of 20 years rum inside 3 years old rum, it's 20 years. No. The rule is that the youngest rum in a blend is the one that will give you the age count. It's really important to remember this because sometimes when we compare with different style of rum, it can be tricky to have a rum that is so powerful in aromas but is just 6 years. It's because it's 6 years minimum, and even if there is a older rum inside, we are just allowed to say 6 years. So we will go into the different process of creating a rum agricole, and then each time I will try to give you some rules that are linked to the AOC that we are forced to apply, but also we are happy to do that because it ensures the quality, the good quality of our rum.
Yeah, I wanted to add, you have a lot of rules indeed, but at the end, the main objective is for you, like, to be sure that you have a perfect quality product in your hands, to be sure also on the working conditions and all of it, and also to protect our traditions, to showcase our knowledge, So it's a beautiful label at the end. It's not only rules that we have to follow. Of course, it's to protect the traditions and to highlight all this know-how.
And actually, the main objective of all those rules, for me, this is the way I understand it, is to allow the consumers at the very end of the process to be able to feel and to taste where it's coming from, and the raw materials that we have used. Everything has been done to keep the flavors of the sugar cane.
To reflect the Martinique.
Of the sugar cane,
definitely. Definitely.
Of the terroir. So
I was going to say the terroir is a key element, I think, in the AOC, right? I just wanted to add, and maybe you can elaborate on this, ladies. Not every rum made in Martinique is an AOC rum, right? You can have a distiller can make a rum agricole, but not adhere to an AOC or get the AOC label because they don't adhere or to all of the regulations in AOC. Am I correct or not?
Yes, you are correct. And one point that I would love to make about this. Sometimes some rums don't have the AOC on their label, so it means that they didn't pass the testing committee. And when they are not passing the testing committee, is not that they have been refused by the committee. Sometimes a brand can decide not to show the batch to the testing committee because of a rule that for creativity purpose it didn't want to follow. But then it doesn't mean that the quality has not been ensured, because usually every other single step of the production has been followed. And so yes, so you can have, and actually we have one.
And we have
we have one here tonight. You can have some rums where you cannot see written Martinique on the label, but it doesn't mean that it has been produced somewhere. When we look at the designation of origins, so the AOC is the top one. So it means that you passed the testing committee, you followed all the rules and so on. And then the mention that is just underneath is called Rhum des Antilles Françaises. So in English it means French overseas countries, French West Indies rum. It's another geographical indication, not an appellation d'origine contrôlée. But it's not because we are saying French West Indies as if we are talking about other islands that the rum is not coming from Martinique. It's one question that people are asking me sometimes, why it's written French West Indies, because it's coming from Guadeloupe. No, it's still coming from Martinique. It's just that sometimes we decide to be creative outside of the rule. So that's why that's why it's not an AOC. So coming back to the sugarcane, and actually I did one spoiler talking about the varieties of sugarcane just before. The sugarcane that we are using for the production of Rhum J.M, 75% of the sugarcane fields are located really close by, close to the distillery. It's one particularity of Rhum J.M is that the sugarcane that we are harvesting in the field doesn't even touch the ground, because we have a sugarcane field really close by. So it means that when the sugarcane is cut in the field, it is placed straight away in the truck that will go straight away to the distillery, and from the truck to the mill,
to
crush the cane. The distillery the sugarcane will go. So our sugarcane is the freshest of them all, really. With the AOC, With the AOC, usually we cannot go over 24 hours, 28, 48,
yeah,
48 hours from the time we crush the sugar cane and we cut the sugar cane and we crush it. But in Rhum J.M, we don't even care about that rule actually because it's so quick. The sugar cane is really fresh and it's crushed straight away. And also in terms of harvesting season in Martinique, it goes usually from February to end of June. This period of the year has been chosen from a very long time ago because it's around the driest season in Martinique. So in Martinique, we don't have 4 seasons, autumn, winter, spring, and summer. We just have a dry season and rainy season. And the harvesting season of the sugarcane is located. It's located on the calendar during the dry season. Mm.
So I think you have a sample of white rum. So you can open it and just smell it first, okay? So for you to understand, okay, we are in Martinique. You can really feel the fresh sugar cane juice, okay? So it's not molasses, it's fresh sugar cane. So you can definitely smell it. It's very vegetal, it's very floral. You can feel the sugar cane, the pepper. It's very aromatic. And then you taste it. And welcome to Martinique.
Yeah.
It's really the smell that you have, you know, when you walk in the sugarcane fields. Okay, so I think it's always very important to start with a white rum to really understand. Yes, that's the raw material. Okay, so then of course with the aging you will develop other aromas, and we will see it during the presentation. But don't forget to start really with the raw material. Okay, so to have a better understanding also of what is rhum agricole. So in Martinique, you drink it with lime and sugar syrup. Okay, the name of this famous drink, national drink, is the tiponche. So you can drink it like even in the morning.
So when you will go to Martinique, because we agree that you will come to Martinique at some point. Whenever you will be going, or even if you arrive at the hotel or in a restaurant, usually people welcome you with a tiponche. So it's really the traditional way of welcoming our guests. It's the iconic cocktail of the island.
And when you go at the restaurants, they will bring you really the bottle.
Yeah.
And then you will do your own tiponche. Okay. It's not just like we will bring you the cocktail. No, the bottle, the lime, the sugar syrup, and you will do it. Okay. So we say that everyone is responsible for its own death.
Yeah. So it's kind of Louis. But yes, there is a saying in Martinique saying this, but basically we translate it in a more positive way, saying that the best tiponche is yours. You make your choice. You decide on the quantity. You decide on the level of lime that you want to put, the level of sugar, and then you mix it. And usually that's the best cocktail because you prepare it your own.
Yeah, and it's really delicious.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Ladies, I have one question regarding cane varieties. Which cane varieties do you use? I think a number of them, but can you name a few?
Yeah, so at Rhum J.M, of course going back to the AOC rules, we have the choice. Of a list of 29 varieties, and the producers will always use the ones that are more adapted to their field. So in Rhum J.M, we are located on the slopes of the Montagne Pelée. So it means that we have a lot of rain. And the slopes are kind of going down as well. So the varieties that have been selected for this type of soil to resist the condition of this location of the island are usually Canne Bleu, so blue cane, Canne Paille. We also have Canne Jaune. All those varieties have a nickname, but a lot of them, others have some name code. So, for example, for the Canne Bleu, I believe it's B69 566, something like this. So there is always a letter and a number. The letter means that the origin of the variety, not of the sugarcane, but the origin of the variety is coming for Barbados for a B. At Fontréville. So at Fontréville, we also have some varieties that we are using. I remember R579, for example. The letter is R because it's coming from the origin of the variety, again, not the sugarcane. The origin of the variety has been created in Réunion Island. So when we look at the list of the different varieties from the AOC, most of the new varieties are starting with R, because there is a center of research of the sugarcane based in Réunion Island that will help of all the territories. So they gathered that knowledge in one place instead of doing copy paste everywhere. And those varieties, before being allowed by the AOC, they will undergo a lot of tests for 2 or 3 harvested seasons to see if they grow well, if they don't grow on the side, and so on. And when the planters of Martinique will say that they had a good harvesting season with this variety that delivered a lot of bricks, so it means the sugar content inside. It grows straight. It was strong enough for the wind or for the snakes. I don't know. Then it will be confirmed, approved by the AOC. So we have different style, mostly 5 of them. But yeah, you have the Canne Jaune, Canne Bleu, R79, R579, a lot of technical numbers as well. I don't remember all of them by heart.
So what do we think of the rum, guys? Leave your comments. Do we like it? Do we don't like it? Who's tasted it for the first time? Who hasn't been exposed to rum agricole before or unaged agricole before? So I'm curious to your comments.
So let's continue. Yeah. So after crushing the sugarcane in the sugarcane mill, we will extract the juice, and the juice from the sugarcane is kind of sweet. So this is what we are looking at. That's why, for example, part of the AOC, we will try to have sugarcanes that have a brix, so the sugar content higher than 14. This is one of the key elements. And if we want to have sugar in the juice, it's because during the fermentation, the sugar plays an important role. This is the one that will be turned into alcohol by the yeast. So we use a yeast that is a commercial yeast to start up the fermentation. And so sometimes the people ask us if it's indigenous or not. No, in Martinique and at Distillery J.M, we use a commercial yeast because we want to control the fermentation. This is the main step of the production where all the aromatic components will be created. When the sugar is turned into alcohol, it creates a lot of flavors inside, and this is what we want to have as a powerful flavors up to the glass that you are testing tonight. So that's why we want to control the fermentation to make sure that just the good aromatic component will be created at this step. So usually the fermentation takes over takes over 24 hours actually, 24 hours at the distillery. It's limited at 120 by the EOC, but we do it in a shorter way at the distillery. We have in our portfolio one white rum that went to a longer fermentation. But the one that you are testing tonight, there are regular ones that has been controlled to make sure that we have a really sleek and freshness of flavors, to make sure that you can feel the flavors from the sugar cane. And after the fermentation period, so then the sugar has been turned into alcohol. So the alcohol level in this liquid, it's around 7 and 8%.
Yeah.
And then that step is done, and then we will move to the distillation.
Yeah. If you have questions regarding the process, don't hesitate. Huh? Sometimes it's a little bit technical. So.
So during the fermentation, the sugar has been turned into alcohol, creating a lot of aromatic components. And then the purpose of the distillation will be to concentrate all those flavor components to make sure that we will be able to extract them into the end product. So for this, in Martinique, we are using a copper column steel, where the concentration plates are in copper. This one is regulated by the EOC. When the column steel is fully in copper, we call it in Martinique colonne créole. But then when it's part inox and part copper, it's just our column steel with different plates. And this is regulated by the EOC to have the concentration plates in copper. So the idea of the distillation will be to place the fermented alcohol at the top of the distillation of the distillation column, and the liquid will go step by step, plate by plate, will go down and lose its alcohol components. At the same time, at the bottom of the column steel, we will inject some steam, and the steam will try to go up and up and up. At the very beginning, it will be just water steam, and it will charge. When it will cross the path of the fermented liquid, it will charge and charge and charge of alcohol components. So at the end of the distillation process, it's a continuous method. But at the end of the distillation process, at the top you will get the alcohol steam. That is your liquid. That is your rum, but still in a still way. And then at the bottom you will have the fermented liquid that has lost all its alcohol, and we will call this vinasse. This vinasse, it's a huge waste of the process, because it's a lot of liquid that we don't know what to do with it. It's kind of acidic as well. So at Distillerie de Fontréville, we have found a way. I will go back to it afterwards. We have found a way to recycle it, because all this process is a closed cycle. And remember that the vinasse, we will go over it afterwards. But the vinasse, it's something that we have found a way to recycle. So coming back to the rum, because this is what we are producing. Coming back to the rum, at the end of the distillation, we have the steam charged with the aromatic component, with the alcohol that we will want to condense. So this steam will go over a refrigerated pipe that will condense the liquid, the steam, to convert back to liquid. This liquid, it's the rum. straight out of the column. That is a title that is tilted usually at between 70 to 73 at our distillery. The AOC limited at 75. This level that has been settled at 70 between 70 and 73. It's again to make sure that we are not losing the aromatic flavors of the sugarcane. When we are having a distillation method that is increasing the level of alcohol up to, for example, 90, it means that we are just burning and losing all the aromatic component, and then it will create a neutral spirit. For example, vodka. When we are distilling, when vodka is distilled, it's at 90%, but then it has lost all its aromatic flavors. But it's the meaning of vodka. Us in Martinique, Rhum Agricole, we want the common thread that we are pursuing at each step is to make sure that you will be able to feel the sugarcane in your glass. So that's why the level of the distillation is at this percentage.
This is also a rule in the AOC, correct? The ABV to which a spirit can be distilled, and also they go even so far as to you have a certain ABV in which you can age, or you can put your rum in your cask. Am I correct?
Yes. So for distillation is 75. For aging, we put it around 60. I don't know if this one I should confirm. I don't know if it's our decision or if it's regulated by the AOC, but usually it's around 60 for the rum placed in the cask. All good for that part. This one was the most technical one. So don't hesitate to ask questions if you have for the distillation. And
I only concur. People should go and visit the distillery, I think, or a distillery to see it in real life. That opens up a lot of things for them.
That's what I was about to say, because I know that after this masterclass you will go and book your ticket to Martinique. So between February to June, harvesting season, you are able to see all this process live in front of your eyes, and then you get to know and understand much better. Even with the sound, with the smell, you get an immersive experience, and then you remember it forever.
Sounds good.
Trying to continue. Yes. So far,
No, I was saying after distillation you have two choices. So first choice is the one you taste just before, so to produce white rum. So for that you just add some water, step by step, slowly, at least 6 months
to reduce
your rum, and then you have the white rum. Second option, you age it.
Yeah, and then one key information that I would love you to remember tonight is that because the rest of the samples that you have received to taste are some rums that have touched the wood. So just remember that the color that you see in your glass, in the bottles, and so on, it's natural. It's the exchange between the wood and the rum that has created this color. There is and this one is regulated. It's regulated, and we are proud of it actually, because it can always be blurry for people if they don't understand. But this one is regulated by the AOC. We cannot add anything to color.
No caramel, no sugar. Very important.
Yeah. What you see and what you taste It's really the magic of nature. It's nothing added to it. So in terms of aging, when we are talking about aging, there is four key elements to consider. First, it's the oxidation. So actually, it's the way the rum is interacting. Interacting with the oak. The evaporation that we are calling angel share. I'm going back, and the balance and the chemical reaction. So aging is actually an oxidation of the liquid because we are using oak barrel. We cannot. It's a rule. We cannot use a chestnut barrel and so on. If we only use oak barrel to age our rum, and the idea is really for the rum that is put in the barrel to be able to catch some flavors from the wood. Everything that we are doing usually, it's for the taste, for the taste that you will have in your glass, and we have created one group of aromas with the fermentation that was coming from the sugarcane, and then with this process we are creating another group of aromas that will this time come from the wood. So the interaction and the time that will pass, that the rum will stay in the wood, will be able to build step by step some flavors to make sure that the rum is getting richer in aromas with that. But when the rum is put in barrels, it doesn't stay like this all the time because the aging process it's also a question of evaporation. In Martinique, we call this evaporation la part des anges. In English, it's called the angel's share, and this is the percentage of evaporation that will happen during the process in 1 year. In Martinique, because we are in a tropical environment, remember the rainforest, the clouds because of the volcano and so on, we are in a really humid environment, which means that the water evaporates quicker than the rum, and then we are concentrating the flavors. The angel share that we have in Macuba, the town where the distillery is located, it's around 8 to 10% per year. In comparison, whiskey, for example, has an angel share because it's a process that's happening for every spirit. Whiskey has an angel share of 1 to 2%. Cognac in France has an angel share of 4 to 5%. Us in Martinique, because of the condition, we have an angel share of 8 to 10%. It means that the concentration of flavors will happen much faster, much quicker and much faster than the other spirits. And also the development of aromas of the flavor profile will benefit actually from this. But then it means at the same time that we are losing a lot of quantities, a lot of liquid is evaporating in the air. So every year we make sure that we control this effect from happening by doing something that we are calling the houillage. It's another technical term. It's a French word actually, and houillage means taking all the barrels from one batch, putting them in a big vat, so a big content vat. Mixing all those batch together, and then we refill at 100% the barrel. Like this, we will not let air increasing more and more this effect. Yes. Then for the aging method, the person that you are seeing here on the screen, it's our cellar master. So she's called Karine Lassalle, and she's the one controlling, testing, taking the decisions of aging every single time for our rum. And she's the one trying to make sure that from one batch to the next, it will be the similar and the same level of quality. Yeah. So, did I say everything about it? Yes. Yes. Yeah, we can continue. If you have, again, for every slide, if you have any question, please let me know. I said that it was technical with the distillation, and then we go back to, and then it's still technical with the aging. Yeah.
One interruption, ladies. I see some people already drinking from their second sample, but actually we're going to change the lineup a bit. So your second sample will be actually the third from the left. So the Fumee Vulcanique before the Terroir Vulcanique. So please continue.
Maybe in fact it's a good time to continue with the tasting. So I will invite you to take the Fumee Vulcanique.
It's the third on your sample list.
So third in your sample list, which is a very good example. So in fact, this one is part of the range of free products. The idea was really to obtain a specific aromas, specific flavors, but just playing with the oak. Okay. So Karine Lassalle, our cellar master, she selected very carefully different type of oak and capacity of casks, etc., to obtain at the end a very, very specific aromatic. Okay. So for example, for this one, we used very toasted casks. Okay, so we burned the cask inside.
It's actually what you can see.
Yes, on the picture. So it's something that we still master at the distillery. I think we are one of the last distillery to do that. So we burn inside the cask, okay, to activate some aromatic contents and components. Okay, so it is exactly what we do for this one. That's why you can feel the it's powerful. You can feel the smoky notes, burn sugar, caramel. So it's because of the very important toasting of the cask.
And for this one, we went a step further than what we are usually doing with our sharing of the barrel, burning inside, and so on. And that's what I was saying at the beginning. Because we went a step further into this experimentation, we knew that we will have a flavor profile that will be much smoky than usual. When I say usual, than usual AOC rum. That's why we didn't even present it to the AOC. But it doesn't mean that the sugarcane didn't grow close to the distillery, that we didn't overgo all the steps that we had just described. It was just that we wanted to play a bit further, a step further into the experimentation for the re-sharing of the barrel, to see what we would get, and we were quite surprised to get this kind of smokiness that usually you can get, for example, in a mezcal, in a whiskey, and to be able to get those notes with a rum was quite playful for us. So that's why we still decided to bottle it like this. So yes, so Fumée Vulcanique, rhum des Antilles françaises, fresh West Indies rum, but for sure 100% Martinique.
So this one is quite young, 24 months in oak only, so it's still young for rum. So that's why you can really feel it's powerful. You still have the vegetal notes as well. The ABV is 49 degrees because we wanted also to offer a range for bartenders. So this rum, you could drink it neat, like we are doing tonight, but also, of course, use it in cocktails to twist a classic daiquiri, for example. It's very nice.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I think in whiskey, you have 4 char levels usually. Do you use the same levels of char at your distillery? And if so, what kind of char level was this in, or the cask it was in?
So this one is actually a blend of different char. Karine played with different style of rum, and that style of cask that she has dealt with our cask cooperage. So it's not just a char 4, char 3, or so on. It's a mix of all of them, because what she had in mind is really to get the smokiness from the wood. So it was not just one type of char for this one.
Also a blend of chars.
Yeah.
I see some people smoking cigars with a smoky rum, so I assume this is a good match.
Yeah,
But
it's a good pairing.
how do we like this so far? Just add your comment or a thumbs up, or I like this a lot. But
Send us
that
some love.
was first time when I tasted it. It was already good. But
Yeah.
oh, I have another
Yeah.
question. Do you use a lot of virgin oak? But I think you have a slide about wood, I
Yes,
think,
actually,
or
this is
cask management. But
this is what is written in the middle of the slide: wood origin. So when we use most of our cask, it's our ex-bourbon barrel, but we also use virgin oak, either American oak or French oak, because they don't have the same typicity. So first, when we use ex-bourbon barrel, it's actually the tradition that we have developed over the years, because back in the days in Martinique, we were not playing at all with virgin oak. We were just taking the cask that were available in the market. And what was available in the market back in the days was only ex-bourbon barrel, because in the US, to be able to age bourbon, you can use your cask just one time. That's their rule. We have some rules. They have their rules as well. So after one usage, one round of aging, they needed to get rid of those casks to buy new ones. So that's why we were able to buy, we and also a lot of people, even whiskey, even Scotch whiskey and so on, we were able to buy some ex-bourbon barrel. And this is what has made that this is what has created actually the main flavor profile of rum, where you can directly feel the vanilla notes, coconut notes, and so on, because it's coming from the ex-bourbon barrel way of creating their bourbon, actually their char. But at the same time, we started to innovate by buying as well virgin oak, and we are supplying them from the US and from France. From the US, so the American oak, usually it's coming from the Kentucky, so the Bourbon state, and in France, usually they are coming from Limousin. The American oak has a different style. The way the oak trees are growing in the forest, it's much faster. So it means that the American oak will deliver. It's kind of technical, but it will deliver much more fruity notes to the vanilla, fruity notes to the rum. And the French oak actually grows much slower. So it means that it will be more dense, and it's usually the kind of wood that we will use to give some structure, some backbones to the rum, some tannins as well. Yes, yeah, that's why we are playing with both, and also, and in majority, with ex-bourbon barrels. And then on that side as well, we have a barrel size. It's kind of important as well, because when a barrel is smaller, it means that there is more concentration, because the liquid is in contact with the wood in every single part. So the exchange between the two are even greater. So usually we are using So French oak, American oak, it's 200 liters, 220 liters. We can also play with a smaller size barrel, bigger size barrel, according to what we want to create.
You have a lot of possibilities.
Yes, a lot of things to play with.
So talking of aging and chard, maybe we can continue with the Terroir Vulcanique.
Yes. So here, a small graphic. I will not go necessarily into details with it. On the picture, you can see a bit bigger what we were talking about regarding the char. It's actually what we are doing during the off season. So during the harvesting season, we are taking care of the sugarcane, and on the other semester of the year, we are mostly taking care of the aging and the wood and charring of the barrels and so on. And when we are talking about heat levels, about char levels, it's really to prepare the barrel to receive the rum. When we are a barrel inside is never raw. So it means that the wood is not just like this when you cut a piece of wood and you can see it straight away. No, it's always burned a bit inside. And the burning of the wood inside is called the char, or it's called the char. And according to the degree of char and the time of char, you will be able to go deeper. You will be able to go deeper in the inside of the wood, which means that when you will fill the barrel with rum, the rum by itself, the alcohol, will be able to go inside the wood to be able to catch some different aromas. Because at every I don't have my vocabulary, at every level of char, depending on how deep the burning has been, the rum will be able to catch vanilla notes, smoky notes, fruity notes, spicy notes, and that's the way you are able to build your flavor profile. So on this graphic here, you can see that according to the time and the degree, you can have lighter or stronger notes, smoky notes being the one on top of it. So for this Terroir Vulcanique, coming back to it, because actually we are coming back to the liquid all the time, because we are always doing it for the taste. Coming back to the Terroir Vulcanique one, so actually that's the second one from their sample list then, because we just did this one, it's a double chauffe. We say double chauffe, so it means a double char. It's again a question of a blend, because Karine Lassalle aged the rum in two types of cask that have a different style of char. Yeah.
So this one is a 3 years old. Okay, so you can call it an old rum. Okay, in Martinique, you can call a rum aged rum from 3 years aging. Okay, so it's a VO. Yeah, the idea was really to represent and to pay tribute to the terroir, to the soil, terroir volcanique, okay, from the volcano, of course. So I think it's one of the, a very, very good expression of what is Rhum J.M. Okay, so this very small and nice distillery lost in this jungle at the foot of the volcano with this volcanic soil. So this is what we try to...
That's the identity and the DNA of the brand.
I think also that this one is a very good entry door. If you are not very familiar with agricole rum, this one is, according to me, it's quite easy to drink. It's quite smooth. So I think it's a very good entry door in the agricole rum category.
Yeah,
let's try.
I was like,
Enjoy, everyone. Ladies, I have one question. I had
yeah.
a question, and
This is what I
Christina
wanted
has the
to
same
know.
question, so that's nice. I was wondering because a number of brands from Martinique are doing a second maturation or a finish, mostly second maturation in different types of casks. I think of Depa in a whiskey cask, and HSE, of course, has their range of secondary maturations in sherry and whatever. So you went another way with doing char levels and experimenting that way, but do you have rums in other barrels, fortified wines like sherry, port, or cognac maybe?
Right now, no. Currently, we don't have for Rhum J.M.
2 years ago. Yeah.
We did it two times, few years ago. Actually, it was back in 2015, and I believe the second one was in 2018 or 19. We partnered with different spirit houses to do some finish. And we had three style: Calvados, Cognac, and Armagnac. Calvados, Cognac, and Armagnac. It was quite successful as well, actually, to be able to have the base, the backbone of the rum being our Rhum J.M, and then few months age in Calvados, Cognac, or Armagnac cask. Because again, in question of taste and flavor profile, it was adding up some flavors that we are not used to to get in our typical flavor profile. So yes, in terms of experimentation, testing, and so on, it's kind of a good game to play.
Yeah, it's very interesting as well.
Yeah.
And one more question about soda barrels and wood type. Do you if you've used a barrel, do you rechar it and use it again? So do you use your barrels multiple times? And do you also experiment with taking the whole barrel apart and then maybe using making one barrel from American oak and French oak? Or is that a bridge too far with experimenting?
Yeah, at the distillery we have a workshop where we can fix some barrels when they are leaking and so on. So yes, sometimes we can replace one part of the barrel with another, but no, we are not doing some hybrid cask with French and American. No, this one we are not doing it yet. Maybe it's an idea for the future. And yes,
You should tell Karen.
Yeah, you have a good idea.
Next time I see her, I will I will mention it.
We will call it the Jenny style. And yes, for the first question, we are one barrel can be used for different round of aging. So it will not play the same role. So for the first role, of course, the rum will be able to extract much more aromas from vanilla and so on from what the barrel was prepared for, and then it will not be as powerful in releasing some aromas, but sometimes it's for a longer aging period, because we know that we have time. For the rum to extract everything, so we don't need to have the fresh and brand new cask to do so. So yes, we do, and it's depending on what we want to have as an end result.
Thank you.
We can.
So what do we think, everyone?
Yeah.
No one has left a comment yet. I think everyone's drinking their rums, and I can't imagine they're not liking it. So what do we think?
They are enjoying it. So we will continue then.
So now we are really drinking the main range, like the traditional range. So this one was a VO, 3 years aging. So next, the VSOP, 4 years of aging, okay? And then we will taste the 6 years of aging XO, okay? So this is really the main range, maybe the most famous rums from GM, actually. So let's move with the VSOP, 4 years of aging. And the interesting part with those three rums, it's for you to see really the evolution of the rum in the cask, okay? So from 3 years to 4, it will change. And even more from 4 to 6, it will change a lot, okay, and develop new aromas. So that's interesting to note.
And coming back to our angel share, coming back to our concentration process and so on, it's kind of surprising to see. Then the Terroir Vulcanique was 3 years old. The VSOP is 4 years old. In terms of in the time length of 1 year, you can see that the flavor profiles has totally evolved. It means that in our terroir, in our condition, in our humid and tropical environment, the concentration of flavors inside the cask is kind of unique because it can provide different products from 1 year to the next.
Yeah, in such a short time.
Yeah. For the question, I don't see the questions, but I answer the question. VSOP means very special old pale. It's a denomination that is coming from the cognac world, and for us in the rum category, it means 4 years of aging in oak barrel.
At least 4 years.
At least 4 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's always at least, because actually, if we want, we can blend it with all the rum, but because the minimum age that we are using is 4 years, with our regulation, it will be 4 years without the label.
Yeah.
What else can we
Should
say?
we ask the attendees to pour their XO also, and then maybe let it
like
breathe
that,
and
you
then
can
compare it
compare
next to each other?
And we will pour some XO. We don't have the VSOP, but we will pour.
For me,
Great.
the VSOP is more fruity. Like you have the banana flambé, the pineapple flambé, some vanilla. It's very nice, like after dinner, I think, with some cheese or chocolate. And you will see the XO is way more powerful, some spicy notes,
and the warmness as well.
Yeah, and it's totally different. But I can't choose between one.
But don't ask us to choose. If there is a question like this, don't ask us. We won't answer. Yeah. And also for the VSOP, we are we are in the age rum category, and it means that we are focusing a lot on the aging, on the cask, and so on. But because of the wonderful job that the distillery has done from the very beginning, when you close your eyes and you think about the raw material, at the VSOP level, you can still feel where it's coming from. You can still feel some flavors coming from the sugar cane and the grassy notes as well. With the XO, you will be able to feel it, but it's just I believe for me it's just a question of feeling, of freshness, of delicacy, but less of grassy notes. Yeah.
Dried fruits. Yeah.
So
with cigars as well, it's a very good pairing.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And then going back to the denomination, XO means really simply extra old. For the rum category, it means 6 years minimum. It was the same. It was the same few years ago with cognac, but now cognac has changed its regulation, and XO for cognac is 10 years minimum. But for rum, XO it's 6 years minimum. If you want to remember those age count, looking at the labels when you are shopping and so on, XO 6 years. But 6 years in a tropical environment with an angel share of 8 to 10%, with a concentration of flavors that has been really strong. So it means that the flavor profile is already really, really complex, much more on the smoky notes, toasty notes, even the dry fruits and so on. You can already feel it really quickly after just 6 years.
Yeah.
In a colder environment like in Paris, where it's cold, where we are located right now, the flavor profile development would have not been the same. But in a tropical environment, yes, it is. that's the magic of it, actually.
I have a question from someone, and I know who it is, and I know where his question comes from because he drinks a lot of high ABV rums. But the question is the lower ABV, 45 is not that low, but okay, for him it is. Is it a choice for Rhum J.M. or is it also part of the AOC, or can you expand on that maybe?
Yes. So there is no AOC regulation in terms of reduction. Actually, I was quite surprised as well when I found out that all the steps are regulated and the reduction is not. For the VSOP and the XO, the choice of reducing it's a choice of ours because those ones are the main range of the brand, and we wanted it to be approachable because at this age, so 4 years for the VSOP, 6 years for the XO, it means that the rum would have not lost too many degrees with the aging. Yeah, because I didn't mention that of course we are losing a percentage of we are losing quantity, we are losing percentage of liquid, but when we are aging, we are also losing percentage of alcohol because the water is reducing. Yeah. So it means that we are losing ABV step by step, but at 4 years and at 6 years, it will still be really high and not that approachable. We also have in the range some vintages. So usually around 10 years and around 15 years. Those ones are bottled at cask strength. So it means that we have not done a reduction. They are not that higher in terms of ABV, but because of the years of aging, they have lost their percentage and they are bottled that way. So we have a different product for different audiences, different public, but for the VSOP and the XO, we wanted it to be approachable.
We have a special program called the Barrel Program. So each year it gives you the opportunity to select a unique cask, and then we will bottle this cask for you with your logo and your text on the label, for example. So it's very bespoke bottle. And in this type of program, yes, you will have some cask strength, for example, with a higher ABV for rum connoisseur and people who want to go a little bit further. Yeah, definitely. So we have several range, we would say.
I do hope we get the vintages here. Now we have a new importer, so I'm looking at
Yeah, of
Robert
course.
now.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
Those are one of my
cask only for you.
those are one of my favorites, agricoles, especially with some older St. James. But no, the vintages are amazing. So people, if you can find one on Katawiki or other auctions, please try to buy it.
So I think we actually do have the vintage 2013 in the Netherlands at the moment.
So yeah, so this one, for example, it's bottled at cask strength. I need to speak slowly when I say I'm saying this. Okay.
Wow, this is my new best friend. Yes.
So we before jumping to the last one, I wanted to go back to something that I have touched just once during the production process. It's our commitment to the environment. So at Rhum J.M, we are really committed to make sure that our environment is totally maintained, and that what we are taking from the earth, we are giving it back in a proper way. Because we are on an island, Martinique is really small. Actually, I didn't mention it, but Martinique is really small. It's like 80 kilometers long, 40 kilometers large. It's an island, so in terms of recycling and so on, those steps are kind of tricky for an island to be able to do so. And also, we are totally dependent on our nature, so we don't want to kill it. and it has been a process of GM to be really respectful of its environment for quite a while. We went much further than others without any people asking us, without the AOC asking us, without the European regulation asking us. But we didn't showcase it to the world up to 2020, where we decided to gather all of this under a program that we have called Eden. So Eden in French, it means engagé pour le développement durable de notre écosystème et de notre nature. So a lot of French words for you that I will translate. It means committed to the sustainable development of our ecosystem and our nature. This program, it's really kind to our heart because it's something that we want to pursue, and since 2020 and even before, it was not just organized that way. We are trying to work really hard for our nature, and we have 3 pillars to make it happen. The first one is to cultivate and protect the nutritive soil. So the soil where the sugarcane is growing, this is what we want this is what we want to preserve. The second one is to produce in a circular economy to minimize our impact. So it means that we don't want to create more waste. This is what I talked about just before. And finally, because all of this that you have in bottles and so on, there is a lot of human behind that have their hand in their product. The third pillar, it's our human pillar, and the career development program of our staff. So in terms of key data that I can share with you, actually I said it already. If you remember, we are using 75% of the sugarcane that we are using. It's really close to the distillery, so it means that first we are using the freshest sugarcane of them all, but also that we are not making a lot of trucks traveling from one point to the next in the island, and also 25% of our agricultural investment are dedicated to the research. We have created some nurturing home for our plants, for our sugarcane. Before being planted in the field, they are planting on the side to make sure that we are creating a good environment for our sugarcane, and then also all the planters that are working with us, they are following the same rules. They have the same commitment as us. So it's kind of important for us to make sure that we are working as a team to maintain the soil where our sugarcane is growing. So with all of this in mind, we have been credited the label of Bon Sucro. Bon Sucro, that is an international label to make sure that everything that I am saying to you guys is not just us on our side saying it, but it's an external entity as well that came to the distillery, that look at what we were doing, our practices and so on, to make sure that we are following those rules, and they are available for you to check and so on. And then again with the AOC, I believe I repeated myself a lot during the presentation. The AOC is there to maintain a high quality of our rum, of course for the taste, but also to preserve the terroir of Martinique. For the second part, is in terms of waste. So when we are producing a rum at some key point of the distillation, the production process, we are creating some waste. So the first one is the vinasse at the end of not the vinasse, sorry, the bagasse at the end of crushing the sugarcane in the mill. So it means that we have extracted all the juice that we wanted, and at the end of this process, the sugarcane is kind of dry with no liquid at all inside. This material is called the bagasse. So the bagasse, it's a waste, and we are using it first to heat up our boiler, but also we are sending it to a plant that is creating electricity close by to the distillery, and we are putting some of it as well back to the field because it's a good nutritive component for the soil. The second waste that we are using, so that's the one I talked about earlier after the distillation process. So you remember the fermented wine that was going down and down and down, and at the end, there is no alcohol, no aromatic flavors in it. It's kind of acidic. It's a lot of liquid. This liquid that is acidic, we have find a way with a lot of research to pump it to some pool where we managed to find a solution, a green solution to raise again the level of acidity, to make this liquid neutral, to be able to release it again on our field. So those green pools are located on top of the distillery. So we have a pump going for this liquid to go back to those pools, and then with the roots of the plants that are on inside the pools, we are raising again the level of acidity, and then also the last waste of the rum production that we have, it's all the smoke that is released from the boiler and so on. This one is captured. This one actually we created a machine to capture the smoke. So back in the days when a distillery was working, we were saying that a distillery is working when it's smoking. So there is even a term saying it's a smoking distillery. Right now, if you are going to Rhum J.M, and actually you will go because you will buy a ticket to go to Martinique. You will arrive at the distillery and you will see no smoke. But it's not because the distillery is not working. It's because this machine is capturing the smokes. That is, and when the smoke is captured, it's creating some potash and the potassium. And this potassium as well, it's a good nutrient for the soil, and we are using it again for our fields. Yeah. So that being said, all this process with all the waste that we have located throughout the process, we have find ways with a lot of research, with a partnership, with technical advances to make sure that we will have a circular system.
I think you are on the forefront of these sustainable innovations, correct? On Martinique and maybe in the world. I know Foursquare is doing a lot of eco-friendly stuff and capturing CO2 from the fermenting process and whatever. But on this scale, it's very nice to see that you are so involved in being sustainable. That's very nice to see.
Yeah, because I believe when you are living in an island, you can see the impact of the climate change on the nature. For the past few decades, you can see that hurricanes are much stronger than before. The level of humidity, the dry season is even drier. Sometimes the people don't have access to water because the dry season is too dry and so on. So I believe you are kind of sensitive to this, and being a brand from Martinique, loving Martinique so much, I believe it was a kind of a need for us to make sure that we will be able to preserve the nature where we are collecting the sugarcane that is creating this wonderful product that we love as well. So that's why the commitment is so strong, because we can see the impact of the climate change when we are living in an island like this. And then so yes, for the third pillar, this the person that you can see on the pictures on the right side, it's Karine Lassalle, so our current cellar master. She's quite young and she's quite innovative and quite joyful. She's in front of Nazer Kanatou, our former cellar master, who is now retired after so many years working at the distillery. He actually grew up close to the distillery because his father before him was the cellar master of the distillery. So we are trying step by step to maintain a transmission of our expertise from one generation to the next. We are doing it for the cellar masters, of course, but we are also doing it for every single position at the distillery. And when we look at the map of Martinique, Macouba, where the distillery is located, is kind of rural environment where because the Martinique is organized in a really central way. So in the center of Martinique, where there is the airport, where there is the main city for the France, all the economical activity is concentrated, but in the rural part of Martinique, so in the top north of Martinique, there is not so many opportunities for the jobs and so on. So we make sure to hire people from the rural part of Martinique as well, and we are really proud to deliver to them a lot of training sessions to get better and better step by step. So it's kind of our commitment as well to the people of Martinique, to the people of the vicinity of our distilleries and so on. And then the equal ratio between women and men.
Yeah. So we will show you now a video explaining all that Audrey just said. So you will see like that beautiful pictures of Martinique and of the distillery. So I think it will give you a pretty good idea of the distillery and the process and the fact to reuse waste.
In the meantime, while you are in front of the movie, you can taste our last release.
Canopee.
And then after the movie, we will discuss it.
Yes, we will explain you. But enjoy the movie with a nice sip of Canopee.
Yes. Maybe Gianni, you are switching to play the movie.
Dans les années 70, il y a un premier journaliste qui atterrit en Martinique. Dans une discussion amicale, on lui dit « Va chez René, tu vas voir, il a un superbe rhum vieux. » Et donc le journaliste déguste ce rhum et lui écrit Rhum J.M, le meilleur rhum vieux du monde. Quand tu découvres J.M, tu ne peux pas rester insensible. La particularité de notre petite distillerie, c'est qu'elle est nichée au pied de la montagne Pelée, dans un écrin de verdure tout juste fabuleux, avec une biodiversité incroyable. Et notre responsabilité, c'est de préserver cet écosystème.
Il faut avoir les deux en même temps. Il faut avoir le soleil pour que la canne puisse être sucrée, mais il faut avoir la pluie pour faire pousser la canne.
Donc la canne qu'on transforme et qu'on distille dans notre distillerie provient en totalité de la Martinique. Les 3/4 proviennent des environs immédiats de la distillerie. De chaque parcelle, je vois la distillerie quasiment.
On a tous conscience que là, on ne fait que passer et qu'il va falloir laisser justement ce qu'on a utilisé, il faut qu'on le laisse dans les meilleures conditions possibles.
Donc en fait, tout le travail agricole qu'on fait, c'est un travail de surface. Mais la vie agricole, elle se passe sous la terre. C'est ce qui passe, c'est toute la biodiversité qu'on trouve à terre, toute la vie écologique, du petit ver du terre, de la nodule, de toutes les interactions qu'il va y avoir entre les éléments fertilisants naturels. Lire un sol, c'est comme lire un livre, si vous voulez, c'est le lire et c'est le comprendre.
Pour éviter de mettre des produits, on utilise de la bagasse, qui est le résidu de la canne boyée. Et ce produit fini est utilisé pour nourrir le sol et empêcher la pousse de mauvaises herbes.
Faire pousser de la canne à sucre sur nos terrains avec des obligations, des contraintes, de la responsabilité d'amener de la meilleure canne à sucre possible au sein de notre distillerie. Et puis cette distillerie va nous servir à transformer, à sublimer cette matière première.
Mon père était distillateur et maître de chai, et après j'ai pris la relève. Et il était très fier de voir que moi j'ai continué ce travail. Il disait la distillation, ça ne se fait pas comme ça. Plus c'est comme une clarinette, plus on cherche, plus on trouve des notes.
Pour créer un rhum, typiquement, il faut beaucoup de patience déjà. C'est un temps de vieillissement qui dure minimum 3 ans pour un rhum vieux. Donc il faut de la patience, beaucoup de passion, puisqu'on ne fait pas ces métiers si on n'a pas envie. Et beaucoup d'humilité aussi. Si le rhum est harmonieux, si les notes aromatiques évoluent lentement, tranquillement et de façon subtile, tout ensemble, là c'est parfait.
On produit du rhum, on le veut excellent, mais dans notre processus de transformation, on se doit d'être excellent de la même manière que le produit est excellent. C'est notre obligation. On a 3 déchets avec des volumes, des masses relativement importantes. La vinasse. La vinasse, c'est le déchet le plus critique, entre guillemets.
La solution est simple. Donc, il s'agit d'envoyer les vinasses dans un bassin d'aération dans lequel se trouvent les bactéries, donc des micro-organismes qui vont se nourrir de cette matière organique. L'eau va être envoyée donc sur des filtres plantés de végétaux, et donc l'eau en sortant de ces filtres va être plus pure, plus propre, et va être ensuite envoyée pour irriguer les différentes cultures donc de bananes et de cannes.
Le deuxième déchet, c'est la bagasse. Cette fibre de canne qui est issue du broyage, de la première opération. Cette bagasse, on va en brûler une partie dans notre chaudière pour générer la vapeur qui va nous permettre de distiller. Et la deuxième partie va être soit envoyée dans une centrale de cogénération voisine pour produire l'électricité, ou soit on va pouvoir en faire un compost. Puis le dernier déchet se situe au niveau de la chaudière, puisqu'on va piéger les cendres et on va piéger les poussières pour pouvoir restituer au sol également de la potasse de façon tout à fait naturelle. On est complètement dans une économie circulaire. Je prélève, je transforme, je produis et je redonne. Et on recommence en permanence de façon circulaire. L'amateur de JM, il doit avoir, je dirais, le sentiment que derrière cette bouteille, il y a des hommes et des femmes qui ont produit un produit d'excellence, mais qui est excellent dans tous les sens du terme. Que tous les points critiques ont été étudiés et que quand il met cette bouteille, quand il ouvre cette bouteille pour ses amis, il soit fier de cette bouteille comme nous on a été fiers de la produire.
C'est toutes les équipes de JM qui font la renommée de la marque et c'est nous qui écrivons les pages en fait de la distillerie.
Okay.
Nice.
So I believe you were all on your phone trying to find a ticket to go to Martinique.
When you see that. I think this movie helps us understand, so first the location, the environment of our distillery, and how we work, in fact, to produce our rums. And yeah, in fact, they're right at the distillery. They are very proud to see that their products, their rums, are then distributed in the, like, for example, in the Netherlands, and they are very proud of that. And remember, guys, that you are also like ambassadors of these products. So when you have knowledge, and then you can explain to your friends and to people, so you are also like representing your rums, and you are ambassadors. So it's very important, and we are very happy and proud of that as well. Yeah.
Like the Canopee, so maybe you can. I'm not sure. I think you have one slide left, maybe to tell us something more about the rum itself.
Just before.
Yes.
There you go. So, so the Canopee is our very last release. Actually, we released it last year, not even 1 year.
9 months.
9 months. 9 months ago. We are actually really proud of this, because it's for me representing all the commitment that we have to our distillery, to our soil, that we have gathered in one single blend. So yes, Canopee, it's a blend. It's a blend of 6 years age. When we say a blend of 6 years, it means 6 years minimum. So it means that our cellar master has played with a different style of rum to create a flavor profile that he had in mind. So it's not actually the same way of thinking in comparison with the VSOP or the XO, where we have an age count in mind, and we see how the flavor profile will evolve. When we are creating a blend like this, it's mostly the end result of the flavor profile that we have in mind, and then we are trying to find the building blocks of our flavor profile to create the blend. So 6 years minimum. 6 years minimum in different style of oak barrels, and this blend results in something that is really, really slick. For me, the word that I use usually to explain, it's really slick, really delicate, but with a really nice oaky flavors, but with also torrefied cocoa beans, vanilla, of course, that is still there, dry fruits, fig, and so on. I would love to have some comments about this, comparing to what you have shared before. But yes, the smokiness, dry fruit, slick on the mouth, really round, and so on. This is the flavor profile that Karine had in mind, and then she built it with the different ingredients. And when I say ingredients, different style of food, different age count, but with 6 years minimum, and so on.
Very, very delicate.
Yeah.
Very nice comments about the rum. Everything from it's a great rum to a body rum, so good. And especially I highly regard Christina, who's here all the way from Berlin, who's a highly appreciated judge on many competitions, who says it's a masterpiece, and I agree with her. So thank you so much. This is really nice. I do have, because people were a bit quiet, I think they were enjoying their rums too much. I do have a poll, because I always want to know what the favorite was for the attendees.
Yes,
so I will start a quick poll. So give us your top 3 rums, and let's see what happens. So you should be able to see my
yeah, we can see it.
The poll now.
And we are not participating because we are not choosing us.
No, you two are excluded. Yes.
Canopee,
Impossible.
Canopee. Hello, Christina.
Hello, Christina.
Hi, hi,
How are
honey.
you?
It's been a while, actually. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So cool to see you connected.
Yeah, because I couldn't be in Berlin for the Rum Festival. I was in China for the Concours Mondial. Sorry.
Oh, well, it's
Well,
kind of cool as well.
It's a good excuse.
Yeah, we were in Berlin, but I was in Berlin actually for the Rum Fest, but yeah, I was kind of sad, but I'm really happy to see you connected tonight.
Yeah, same for me.
I think has everyone entered their top three? I think, well, it's very. Oh,
Yeah, we have a
actually,
winner.
a clear winner.
Mm-hmm.
To me, what is surprising to me actually is that the some people say I like the XO the most, but still the VSOP came out on top. So that was a bit surprising to me. I would say those should be closer, but it's only 2 percentage points. But the Blanc, that surprises me.
Yeah.
I didn't think that the Dutch crowd would appreciate the unaged agricole, the full-blown unaged agricole flavors, but they do apparently, and yeah, I know why, because it's amazing. So
yeah, to be close
great.
to the terroir, to be close to the terroir, to be close to the sugar cane, and to be able to feel it in your glass. I believe that's what making the poll so positive with the white. And you didn't even try the Tiponchette.
Yeah,
so,
try it with lime
that,
and sugar syrup next time. Huh?
So it means that there is a good opportunity for white rum in the Netherlands.
Okay, great. I will end the poll. I will also end the recording now, so then we can have a quick chat, and I can